Grab Life by the Goals is the podcast for passionate badasses to get inspired, activate their potential, and crush their goals. In a nutshell, we do big shit around here. Whether you're looking to disrupt your career, start or grow a business, or simply have a more kick-ass life, you're in the right place. Come to be inspired, find your swagger, dream bigger, and take actual steps to level up your life. All with a side of real talk and raunchy humor. I'm your host, Lauren Widrick. I'm a life and business coach, and I'm right here on the roller coaster with you. Are you ready? Let's do this. What's up, my badasses? Welcome back to this week's episode of the Grab Life by the Goals podcast. And today we're here to talk about manifestation. Now, I know manifestation is a buzzy topic, and there are people who are experts in this. I'm not claiming to be an expert in manifestation or have the perfect method for you. However, I've been manifesting some really cool shit lately. And like everything I do, I can look back in hindsight and see that there were some ingredients in the recipe that led to these manifestations. So in today's episode of the podcast, we're going to be sharing some of my recent manifestations and results that have been just goddamn amazing. And then there's a 10 ingredient recipe that I came up with. I don't want to call it a 10-step formula, but it's more like a recipe where you can pick and choose the things that are delicious to you and then maybe put them together so that you can enhance or accelerate your own manifestations. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and share what's going on with me. One, to help illustrate some elements in my recipe, but two, just so we can catch up and you can hear what's going on with Grab Life by the Goals and the business. And after you listen to this episode, I want to hear what's going on with you too. So be sure to send me a note on Instagram, a DM at Lauren Widrick, and let me know this. What are you manifesting? What are you hoping to manifest? And what are some really sexy updates in your life that you would love to share and add velocity to? Because one of the elements here is going to be declaring what it is that you want to manifest, and let me be that sounding board, because I'll tell you what, when you speak it into the universe, it is that much more likely to happen. That's woo-woo shit. There's also scientific studies that basically say when you write down a goal, it's just that much more likely to come true. So I will say that about manifestation. Before I dig into my, things that I'm manifesting right now, let's talk about what it is. Some people think manifestation is the secret or the law of attraction, where you think something really, really hard and thoughts become things. I'm not saying that's true or false. I actually don't know. On the other hand, it very well could be there's no woo-woo, there's no spirit, there's no universe, and just being really fucking crystal clear on what you want inspires you to take very targeted action and make your goal come true. So there's two ends of the spectrum, and then I think I swing in between or fall somewhere in the middle. I do believe in the universe. I do believe in quantum physics. I do believe in vibration and energy exchange. I think there are forces at play that we can't sense with our limited 5 senses. I think about this all the time, and I'm going to mess this up, but there are animals that can hear things that we can't hear. Like bats can register sonar. I don't know if that's true, but there's something like that. Animals can sense things that we can't as humans. So why I say that is that I think there are things flying around in the universe that defy logic and what we can sense with our limited 5 senses, but I have no proof of that. That's just a theory that is helpful to me. And this is how I feel about religion, faith, spirituality. As long as whatever you believe is helpful to you, serves yourself, and or serves the world in some way, I don't care if it's true or false. None of us freaking know, right? So you can have total faith in something, and that something can be woo-woo, spirit, religion, God, whatever you want to call it. Or that faith could be totally in science and logic and what we can see, smell, and touch in the world, right? So my coach, Jessica, we talk about this all the time. I message her. I'm like, we manifested it. This thing came true. And she'll correct me and say, yeah, you manifested it, but you also took a fuck ton of action toward that goal. And what I want to say is, yes, that's required. I don't believe thoughts become things. You think about a check and it shows up in your mailbox. I don't think that's how manifestation works. I do think you can desire a certain amount of money. Let's call it $20,000 for the sake of this conversation. I want $20,000. And you have a very strong why for why you want that thing and a home for that money. I do believe that $20,000 will manifest due to your inspired actions. So whatever you're up to, whether you have a business or you want to get a raise or you're fundraising or whatever your desires are for that money, I think you're going to start doing more shit toward that goal because you've made your intention so clear. So clarity of intention, inspired action equals results. Whether you're a woo-woo or not, I think that just has to be true. All right, now let me share with you guys some of the things that I've recently been manifesting, and it feels like a breath of fresh air. So if you've been listening to this podcast, it's been out in the world for a little over a year. You can probably sense the trajectory. My hardcore fans will know what I'm talking about. Like when I launched this podcast in, spring 2021, business was popping. I was hiring, I was investing, things were going great. And then things got wiggly. I think I hired too fast and tried to scale too quickly and didn't really let any one of my good ideas marinate. So I had like 8 half-baked ideas flying around. My attention and energy was diluted, and it ended up making 2021 a very fucking weird year for me, financially, spiritually, and I had a breakdown. So if you remember last fall, I'll have to dig up the episode number, but I released a podcast called Everything is Fucked because it felt like everything was fucked. And I like to take you guys along the journey with me. I will never be that coach or leader that's like, I'm doing everything the right way and you need to follow my perfect formula. Like, I want you guys to see that growth is non-linear and messy, and I want to take you guys on that journey. So last fall, it felt like everything was fucked. I was just coming out of the fog. And over the last 6 months, so from that low point to now, everything has started to break through. And it's become abundantly clear to me why these manifestations did not happen last year. I needed last year to learn the lessons and to get the MBA in entrepreneurship before I could actually scale this thing to the next level. So last year, like I said, I dipped my toe in 8 different things. I dipped my toe in podcasting, and I dipped my toe in funnels and evergreen courses and hiring and events and retreats. And I did a little bit of all of it. And no one thing popped. But this year I've realized all of them popped. They all just take time. And the manifestation that's come to me most recently is how to bring all these things together to serve you. Because over the last year, it's been I do events, I do coaching, I do retreats, I have a community, I have a podcast, I do social media content, I have free guides, all the things, right? How do I actually deliver all of these with quality and in a way that's of service to my people? And the manifestation broke the fuck through this spring, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So manifestation number 1 that I'm going to share is I am announcing the Grab Life by the Goals Squad Experience. This is the product that I have been building up to for 6 years. And it's the only product that I'm offering for the rest of 2022 and likely beyond. And here's why. It takes all the best things of everything I've ever done and puts it under one offer, one price, one annual membership. So the Grab Life by the Goal Squad membership includes all of my courses. So if you want to slay your side hustle, great. Come in and take that course because that's there. Sales Swagger is there. All my other courses are there. So it's a huge, robust training library. You want to work with me as a coach? Fabulous. Within this annual membership, there's coaching calls on Tuesday that are business related and coaching calls on Thursday that are life and career related. So you get to hang with me up to twice a week if that's what you want to do. And then Wednesdays in between, the squad comes in. So y'all know I got the best squad on the planet. It's my alumni network, but we've all become peers and we make each other better. We've got business owners and experts in every area of business, life, and career. So on Wednesdays, we're going to rotate through the guest experts so that you can learn things like how to launch a podcast from our podcast producer and how to pitch the press and how to unfuck your calendar with our COO and so many more. It's not just me. It's me and the squad, okay? So courses, coaching, networking. This is what I love most about this squad. I don't really like the term networking. I think it's kind of boring. And I never really liked networking events. But the way we do it is so different. It's so organic. It's so non-competitive. We literally send each other clients every single week. And whether you're growing your career, growing your life, or growing your business, we all want to see you win. So it is the most supportive community. You will come in with resources and humans like, how can I help you? And events, right? When you come into this membership, you get access to local networking events in Charlotte, and then we're going to start traveling to our markets. So for instance, I have a little client contingent in Columbus, Ohio. We're going to once in a while host an event in Columbus and host an event in New York. So we're going to have live networking, social, and wellness events that you can attend 2 to 3 times a month, and then quarterly mini retreats and a big annual retreat in January, which is your Grab Life by the Goals goal setting retreat. So let me recap what you get in the squad experience. Courses, coaching, training, a network, social events, networking events, mini retreats, and a big annual retreat, all for one price. Now, nobody would attend all of those things because the calendar is just packed. So I think of it like an all-inclusive resort where you can pick and choose what you like. But this is the offer that's manifested, the Grab Life by the Goals squad experience. So this will be announced in early May, where you can sign up. If you sign up, you get to come to this big Bougie launch party at my house toward the end of May. If you're interested, just shoot me a note on DM and keep your eyes peeled for my Instagram, where I will announce it. We'll announce it on LinkedIn, on the email newsletter. But if this is turning you on, don't hesitate to reach out and get on the wait list, because you know if you want this. If you've been watching our squad and kind of asking yourself, how do I get in there? How do I get in with those ladies, those dudes that are just killing it and helping each other out? And it looks to be way more fun than any other networking group. They're traveling, they're dancing, they're making money, they're making moves. If you want to get in, we want you to. So if you're a badass with a big goal, let me know and we'll put you on the wait list. This week's episode of the Grab Life by the Goals podcast is brought to you by Nature Beyond Threads, which is my absolute favorite activewear that is truly wearable art. You've never seen patterns like this before on leggings or sports bras. I'm currently wearing the Artist Palette set, which features nature photography from Death Valley, and people literally stop me on the street and ask, where did you get those leggings? The styles range from bold geological patterns to subtle sandstone. You just have to see it to believe it. So pop on over to naturebeyondthreads.com to see exactly what I mean. Beyond being beautiful, the founders of Nature Beyond Threads have a deeper mission. Each garment is created from recycled and responsibly sourced materials, and they've partnered with One Tree Planted to plant a tree for every set purchase. I truly think about that every time I slip on my set, how I'm taking care of the planet as I take care of myself. The material is moisture wicking, has 4-way stretch and UPF protection. I wear mine to Orange Theory for my at-home workouts, and I frankly lounge in them 3 or 4 days a week. I am not kidding. Listeners of the Grab Life by the Goals podcast can get 10% off every purchase. Go to naturebeyondthreads.com and enter the code Lauren10, that's LAUREN10 at checkout. And once you get your set, be sure to tag me on Instagram and Nature Beyond Threads so we can see how gorgeous you look. So you can probably hear in my voice how excited I am to bring this to you. The squad is so excited, but it's not the only big thing going on in my world. The next is that my most recent class of Slay Your Side Hustle launched 3 weeks ago. And you guys, these people are absolute ballers and badasses. They're incredible squad mates that y'all need to meet, but they have big businesses. About half of them are B2B and are going to be selling to Fortune 500 companies. And it's just a badass group of people. And I'm so grateful to get to teach this course and, set people on a new path in their life. So a huge manifestation is that we packed out that class with the right people and it just feels amazing. The next manifestation, y'all, is my stand-up comedy career has begun. I started my stand-up classes this week and I've never been more excited, just for the sheer fun of something. And I mean that, being at this class and then getting to observe a real life open mic night, I felt my titties tingling in a way that I have never experienced before. I'm like, I think I can do this. And being in a room full of people who are putting their butt cheeks out there and being vulnerable and making fun of themselves and being open to rejection and heckling, I'm like, this is my squad. Talk about another squad. The stand-up comedy squad. I was like, I need to know all of you guys. And one thing I want to say is my classmates all laughed at my jokes about being a hoe and a housewife at the same time. So I think I have a real shot at this. So huge manifestation there. Another that I have to share is my husband, Sean Daddy, who you've met on this podcast, is a freaking super manifester. And he sent me an email 3 weeks ago that was literally said this, and I quote, Lauren, I'm not fucking around anymore. We are going to get an investment property that's also a vacation home this year. Well, not 3 weeks later were we on spring break in Myrtle Beach, and the perfect condo popped up in his feed. We found the perfect realtor. We visited it and a few others, but this was always the one. We put in an offer, and now we're under contract on something that's an incredible investment property that cash flows. But we're going to get to go visit this beautiful beachfront condo once or twice a year and make memories at a place where we can kind of put down roots. So there we go. Sean Daddy manifested the condo, and I could not be more excited. The last thing I'll share is that it feels like everyone around me is experiencing major manifestations as well. Everyone I talk to is growing their own sales pipeline, closing huge deals, making major connections. In fact, I had a call with a client yesterday. It was about a 90-minute call because even though she's uber successful, she has a huge high-paying job, a real estate portfolio, and she's starting a side hustle. She was saying she wasn't feeling totally aligned. And so I just asked her, like, I love being a coach because it's so simple. I just asked her, what do you really want? Like, what do you really want? And she listed it out. What do you want to do for work? What do you want to do for your business? What do you want to do in your life? And she listed these things out. And I was like, girl, just do those things. And she's like, yeah, you're right. I should just do those things. That's what I want. I'm going to get that car. I'm going to talk to my boss, and I'm going to do this with my side hustle. The following morning, which was this morning, she calls me and goes, holy shit, it manifested. My boss called me unsolicited and offered me a 6-figure comp increase to stay for 9 more months. And then upon my exit, it would be a multi-6-figure exit package, meaning she could chill. After those 9 months, she could actually get paid to chill for a little bit. And she wanted to manifest her dream car, which is a white Range Rover, and was having some wiggles about like, is that too bougie of a car? Do I really need that much car? Well, she met somebody that evening who had her perfect car and was about to sell it to CarMax. And this friend of mine, this client of mine was like, no, don't sell it to CarMax, sell it to me. So in literally a 12-hour span, she manifested multiple 6 figures and her dream car at a great rate, all from the clarity she created in our conversation. Now, when I talked to her, I said, I take no credit for this woman, no credit for what you've created. This is you being a badass and taking inspired action. But she was like, if I wasn't clear, I don't think I would have manifested these things. So that's just one example of many. So many of my former clients and squad mates are reaching out to me saying, oh my God, shit's popping. And I'm like, yeah, I think the collective energy is rising. The collective energy is rising. When one of us rises, the rest of us rise vibrationally. And the more success she is having, the more success I am having, the more success he is having. That is the power of raising your vibration. Is it doesn't just serve you and your goals, it serves the collective that you're a part of. So if you're into that woo-woo stuff, which I am, I'm not just here to make money for myself. I'm not just here to buy things or travel places. I'm here to raise my vibration so that I can raise yours too. So when you live your best life and when you declare what it is that you really want most, more than anything, it's not just of service to you. It's of service to humanity. It's nothing short of that. So you have to. It's imperative that you go for what you want, that you claim what you want. Otherwise, it's a disservice to not just yourself, but everybody. Okay, so hopefully I've got you all juiced up about manifestation and going for what it is that you really want. Next, I'm going to share my 10 ingredient recipe for manifestation, and I'm going to rattle it off really quick so you can hear all of them. And then I'll dial into each one in a little bit more detail. So here they are, my 10 ingredients. First, clarity and resolution. Number 2, sex up your goal. Number 3, high intention, low attachment. Number 4, get yourself into woo-woo mode. Number 5 is wellness. Number 6 is gratitude. Number 7 is messy inspired action. Number 8 is do it your way. Number 9 is surround yourself with people who will raise your vibration. And then number 10 is faith and patience. Now, why do I keep calling this a recipe instead of a process? Because it's not linear. It's not like first do 1 and then do 2. 10 things is actually probably too many to keep track of, right? But I want you to pick and choose the ones that you like and maybe grab onto a couple of those and then see where it takes you, okay? Let's talk about number 1, clarity and resolution. So clarity is knowing what you want, and resolution is letting it be unfuckable with. So when it comes to clarity, it's okay to want what you want. So in the case of my client, her dream car is a white Range Rover. And it hadn't manifested yet because she was kind of wiggly, like, is it too bougie? Is it too much money? Do I really need this? Maybe I should get it later. But on our call, she was like, no, I fucking want that. And I don't care what anybody thinks. If anybody thinks I'm too bougie or whatever, I don't care. This is the car that's going to give me swagger and confidence to go do what I need to do in the world to succeed and help others. And so the minute she owned it, literally manifested that night. So I have an episode of the podcast called It's Okay to Want More. It's okay to want things that are not vanilla. Like when I let myself accept the fact that I want to be a stand-up comedian and I don't care what anybody thinks, it manifested. And when I get rid of these wiggles of like, oh my God, what are people going to think if I talk about my vagina on stage? Like, I will talk about my vagina on stage and I will get famous and I will get to do whatever comedy I want to do and nobody will give a shit. So it's okay to want what you want. Just claim it, clarify it, commit to it. It is yours. Next up is resolution. Be resolute. So when it comes to your goals, you can't say, I'm going to try. You have to say, I am doing this. So when Sean sent me that email that said, I'm done fucking around, we are getting an investment property, I felt it in my bones. I felt it in my nipples. I was literally like, he's not fucking around. This is going to happen. And it happened 3 weeks later. When I committed to building this squad, like literally I've been building it behind the scenes for about a month as of this recording. People are already somehow by osmosis finding out about it, booking calls on my calendar, and I've already pre-sold 2 seats and don't even have the page to sell it yet. Like I can't even take their money yet. And they're like, how do I pay you? So I am very resolute that I am building the squad. It's going to have 100 members in it in a very short period of time. And that's unfuckable with. Once that is out there and declared, it is on like Donkey Kong. So clarity and resolution is step 1. Ingredient number 2 is sexing up your goal. So it's possible your goal hasn't manifested because it doesn't turn you on enough. It's too small. I have experienced this before. Whenever I try and like cut alcohol for 30 days, it doesn't really stick. But when I say I'm going to cut alcohol for a year, that sticks. I did a webinar about a year ago that was called 50K in 25 days. And it just was sharing with people like how I made 50K in 25 days. And the truth in that webinar was I had actually set a 100K goal. And that goal was sexy to me. I'm like, man, I've never had a 100K month. I had not actually even really had a 50K cash month. I think that was my first one, which is why I did the webinar. But a 100K month turned me on because I knew that would require me to become not a solopreneur, not a coach who gets paid, the owner of a company, the owner of a business and a CEO. So I set the goal of 100K. It turned me on. And guess where I landed? 50. Great. It was more cash than I'd ever made in a month at that point in time. And the goal was sexy enough. To Sean, the goal of the investment property is sexy. This friend of mine, this client that I was talking about that had the 6-figure manifestation and the dream car, to her, we were trying to build out her side hustle. And what we were building was too small. We were trying to build a package price of like, I don't know, 5K, 10K to work with somebody. And she wasn't really getting motivated by that because at work, she helps negotiate $100 million deals, $25 million deals, $50 million deals. So for her, creating a $5,000 package wasn't really aligned. What she should create is a $200,000 package to help companies negotiate $100 million deals. That was more aligned with her energy and her skill set. Not that there's anything wrong with a $5,000 package. I have them. My clients have them. It's very aligned with a certain type of business. But for this particular person, it was not aligned. It was not sexy enough. For me, the squad that I'm building, the squad experience, the annual membership, is so fucking sexy, I can't even describe it. To me, to get all of that shit for one price, like you could buy Slay Your Side Hustle, or you could buy Sales Swagger, and you get a lot of goodness, but it does not come with the whole network and the events and the whole course library and the goal setting retreat and the fun and the mighty network. Like, oh my God, it's like the squad is so sexy. It is so sexy. And the thought of having 100 people in it makes me so excited. I mean, you guys can probably hear it, right? So take a look at what you want. Is it sexy enough? Like, do you want that house down the street or do you want like your dream house? Do you want a slightly nicer car or do you want a white Range Rover? Like, it is okay to go bigger. I think bigger goals are one, more activating, they get you into action differently. And two, they're sometimes easier to achieve, right? Like, if I wanted to get 10 people into the squad, I'd probably like do a bunch of posts and like fairy dust a bunch of people and kind of do it the old school way. But if I want 100 people in the squad in a short period of time, I have to think quantum. I have to think to myself, not the posts and not the fairy dusting. I love that stuff, but it's like, who can help me with this? Who is an influencer? Who has a huge network? Who gives a shit? Who can get me in the press, right? Who would this benefit? What communities can I penetrate and go serve greatly? And then they'll come back and join the squad. I can't go one by one. I got to go quantum, right? So sex up your goal and the quantum ideas will begin to materialize for you. Next ingredient in the recipe is high intention, low attachment. So be clear, be resolute about what you want, and then detach a little bit from how it shows up. So I've talked about this in prior episodes. It's quite possible that you want to manifest $100,000. Let's just go with that. And if you're a business owner, you're like, okay, the most logical way to get $100,000 is to do a bunch of prospecting, pack out my sales pipeline, do the traditional things. That is going to be a lot of work. Or you could go sell a single $100,000 package or 4 $20,000 packages, or create a piece of content that's so fucking potent that 100 people come to you and buy it right now, okay? There are many, many ways that your goal can manifest. For instance, like our condo in Myrtle Beach. We weren't going there to buy. In fact, it's actually a little premature for us to buy this condo because we have another investment property we need to sell and get the revenue and put toward this. That property hasn't sold yet, so technically this is a little bit premature. However, all the resources we need showed up. I mean, Sean took a bunch of inspired, messy action. We got the financing. We are looking at partners. Like, there's so many things we can do to help this manifest. It does not have to look exactly one way. So for instance, if you're job searching, you don't have to get that one job. If you're relationship searching, it does not have to be that one guy or that one girl. You have to just say, I desire a business that gives me this. I desire a car that makes me feel like this. I desire a house with these qualities, and then detach from the exact way that it shows up. Next up, I would say get into woo-woo mode. I think that's why I'm experiencing all these manifestations right now is I went deep into it. I started listening to podcasts from Esther Hicks, or Abraham Hicks, I should say. And if you're not familiar, hang with me for a second, because her purpose on earth is to channel source energy into words. And she calls herself Abraham, which is a they. It's very weird until you hear it, because I would never get into this stuff. It's a little out there for me. But when you listen to her advice, it is so freaking sound. It is so on point that you can't help but to follow it and believe in it. And it's all about feeling good, raising your vibration, detaching. It's all about manifestation. But the more I listen to her, or them, as I should say, Abraham, the more results I get, the more books I read. So I read Power Manifesting by Nick Bro. I think Breau. I think that's how you say his name, Power Manifesting. I love The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease. And that book's not even all about money, but it's the same thing. Like, when you read these books and you spend time with people who believe this stuff and you're around people who are manifesting, like, it doesn't seem so crazy. So do the woo things, light the candle, do the journal, read the books about power manifesting, and then let the magic begin to marinate for you. The next ingredient is simply tending to your wellness. Now, we all need to exercise, we all need to sleep, we all need to eat right. But I actually believe these are paths to manifestation. So in Q1 of this year, starting in January, I came back from my retreat with Sean Daddy, and my number one goal was health. I felt like that was my one thing, the one thing that makes everything else easier or unnecessary. So I really cleaned up my health in Q1. I did the elimination diet. I started working out again. I cut out drinking for almost 2 months. And it's no shocker to me that the manifestations started coming in Q2. Now, there might be a little bit of a lag time, but I believe like clean body, clean spirit, clean energy. If you're exhausted all the time and have a stomach ache and a headache, it's probably hard to get yourself into the higher vibration required to feel good enough to go take action. So I think wellness is a really important part of manifestation and high performance. So if you're wondering why your goals aren't coming true, this could be a back to basics moment where you're like, first, sleep, second, water, third, movement, fourth, diet. Like, play with those things and see if cleaning up your body doesn't clean up your energy and help raise your vibration. The next ingredient in the recipe has to be gratitude. Now, all of these law of attraction experts say that gratitude is the number one energy of receiving. So, if you want something big, you want that $100,000 or that car or those clients, be radically grateful for what you already have. So, I do this in my doodle hours. Whenever I wake up early with a journal, here's where I start. I am grateful that my kid ate her dinner last night and that we have a pool in our backyard and that I got laid last night on the nights that that's true. I am grateful that my client had a manifestation. I'm grateful for how easy my coaching call was today. I am grateful for all the humans that are here on the ready to help me reach my goals. I'm grateful for my network, etc. Right? There are so many things you can be grateful for. And I was on a call today with some amazing coaches and people who were into this manifestation. And we were all saying, like, don't just rinse and repeat. Yes, we're all grateful for our spouse and our health and our kids in our house. Yes, deeply grateful for those things. But can you stretch yourself to be like, I am grateful that I learned how to make matcha lattes and I don't have to drive to Starbucks and spend $5. Like, I'm so grateful. Or like, I'm so grateful that I am looking at myself on screen here. Like, I have a Grab Life by the Goals t-shirt. Somebody made that for me. They made the logo and then somebody else made the shirt. I'm so grateful. Like, so can you really stretch yourself to find more and more things to be grateful for to the point of like gratitude overload, like appreciation central? If you can get immensely grateful for what you have, it will make you appreciate the process of manifesting and not just the outcome, because it's not about the outcome. It is not about the outcome. Whatever you're trying to manifest, whether it's that car or that business, you're not going to be any happier when you get it. The point is not like, I'm going to work really hard to manifest and then I'm chilling. No, because you're going to be on the journey then too, right? So you might as well enjoy the process. And when you're grateful for what you have, it just makes you happier. And Abraham Hicks calls this the receiving mode. So get yourself into woo-woo mode, get yourself into gratitude, and just watch the magic unfold. Number 7 ingredient in my recipe is messy action, messy inspired action. So this is one of my favorite things to talk about. I have a funny way of saying this. It's quit dicking around and just do it. So here's the thing. When we overthink ourselves to death, we are not in a high vibration. When I'm like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? You're giving scattered signals to the universe. And I would say action speaks louder than any thoughts you can have, right? Like, get yourself in the high vibe and then go do some shit. Now, there's 2 things about doing shit you need to know. Is 1, it doesn't need to be perfect, but 2, it does need to be inspired. It has to feel good. So this is the opposite of grinding. When I was on this call earlier today, this is what we were talking about, is like, should I post on social media every day? Well, that depends, right? If it feels inspired and it feels good and you're like overflowing with messages that you can't wait to share, then yes, post them abundantly. But if you don't, and you're just posting to check a box, that is not going to feel good. That's not inspired action. I would rather you post once a week and it's from your heart and you feel litty titty and you're in service to other people than to do just like lame ass posts every day to say that you can. The energy is not there. So the action has to be inspired, and it can be super messy, guys. I did this today. I went on Instagram Live about 2 hours ago, and I fucking hate Instagram Live. I hate it. I hate being unscripted. I hate the thought that my dog could bark or I could get distracted with a text or that I'm going to ramble. I fucking hate Instagram Live. But I got a little nudge that was like, the people miss you. I don't know if this is true or not, but I haven't really been on social media a lot lately. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go live and just catch up with my friends. And it felt really good. And I've already got a bunch of messages from this silly live that I did. And it was inspired. The universe was like, go live. Great. Easy enough. It was messy. It wasn't really scripted very well, but I believe it was a step toward my manifestation. I don't know how it's going to shake out yet. I'm detached. Like, I don't expect this live that I did for 12 minutes to result in clients. Like, I do believe it was a step that's going to unfold the next step and reveal the next step. So take messy action. Stop overthinking it. Stop dicking around. I say this to my side hustle clients all the time. You cannot ruminate your way to results. You can't. You've got to take action. We go back and forth and back and forth about the details of their packages. And I finally say to them, I don't really give a fuck. The more important thing is that you call it good enough, minimum viable, and then you put it in the world. Messy action, and make sure that it feels good in the process. Next ingredient in my manifestation recipe is do it your way, please. I don't care what every internet guru says. There is no one recipe or formula that fits for everybody, right? Even this recipe I'm giving you, I'm saying, I don't know which of these are going to work for you. Pick and choose. Pick and choose the ones you like. So if there is some business owner that you're watching out there and you're like, oh my gosh, she does 3 reels a week on Instagram and she does a LinkedIn newsletter, so I need to do those things too. No, fuck that. Just because she's doing it doesn't mean you need to do it that way. Maybe exercising 7 days a week is energizing as fuck to some people and draining as fuck to others. You don't need to exercise 7 days a week, right? Some people do, some people don't. You don't need to meditate 5 days a week. Some people love that, some people hate it. There's no one way to get results. I had a sales coach that I worked with for years, and she used to do, I think she still does, Facebook Lives. And that's her medium of choice. Whenever she was feeling inspired and lit up, she would go live on Facebook. I almost said Instagram. She would go live on Facebook and just give her best advice, like channel her message about how to do sales, how to make money, how to get aligned with your product. And she would get so many sales calls out of these Facebook Lives. And she didn't do them very often, right? But this was her pipeline builder, and it felt good and inspired and not grindy to her. So the point is, there is no one formula, not even mine, right? So I teach the Slay Your Side Hustle course with 12 steps, and I always end up telling people these are just a framework if you get stuck or lost. You have to do this your way. So comparison is the thief of joy. Don't watch me. Don't watch any other coach or any other business owner or any other leader. Do it your way, and things will manifest more quickly. All right, the second to last ingredient that you may select to put in your manifestation meal is surround yourself with people who expand you. Surround yourself with people who raise your vibration. So if you are not manifesting your goals, take a look at your inner 6. They say that you're the average of the 6 people you spend the most time with. Are they high vibe? Do they support you? Are they taking action to help you reach your goals? Are they a shoulder to cry on? Are they telling you you can do it? Or are they letting you off the hook of your greatness, right? If you don't have a group of people who believe in manifestation, believe in your goals, and want to actually mobilize to help you, find some people who do. Our squad is so supportive. And it's not that we're all the same. We're not homogenous. It's not that we're not diverse or that we all think alike, because we don't. We're all very different. But we all have this thing in common in that we're hungry for our goals. We're hungry to help each other, and we recognize that we're stronger together, even though we're super different, right? So when you come into our squad, that's what I mean. You need people around you that are like, oh, your business is amazing. I know 4 people you should talk to. Or like, girl, your prices are way too low. You're way too fucking amazing to undercharge. Raise your prices. Or like, girl, why are you so stressed out? Let's unfuck your calendar and get you taken care of, right? I keep saying girl, but there's dudes in the squad too. You need people that push you, that expand you, that believe in you, that love you, and are willing to carve time to help you. So if you don't have that, come to the Grab Life by the Goals squad experience, or at a minimum, let's hang out. Shoot me a DM. We can jump on a Zoom, and I can lift you up and get you feeling inspired like I did for my client yesterday, so that you can get out of your rut. But you got to surround yourself with people who, A, believe in manifestation, 2, believe in you. And the very last ingredient that I would encourage, I think, everybody to do, this one might be an essential ingredient like salt and pepper, is faith and patience. Okay. So as I've seen, as you've seen, manifestations can happen almost instantly if you are aligned enough, but they don't always have to, right? I've heard this metaphor before about law of attraction that it's like placing an order from a catalog, which catalogs don't really exist anymore. I guess it would be an online catalog, right? When you place the order and they tell you it's going to be here in 3 to 5 days, you're not obsessively like, where is it? 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 You're like, okay, in 3 to 5 days, I'll go check for it. And you get on with your life, right? When you are manifesting, it's like placing an order with the universe. And with that much clarity, like place the order, click the metaphorical button, and walk away and know that it's been imprinted on the universe and things are starting, like literally particles energy vibes, they're people, they're all starting to mobilize in favor of your intention, right? So you have to have faith. And I think what slowed down my manifestations last year was that I did not have faith that this was all happening for me. All I saw was a bunch of half-baked ideas and hires that didn't work out and funnels that didn't result in ROI. And I was like, this is all fucked. Like, I don't know why things aren't manifesting more quickly. If I would have dropped in and had faith that every single thing happening was for my future self and have gratitude, like massive gratitude for the things that were going well and the things that were confusing. If I would have done that, I do believe these manifestations would have happened even faster. But you know what? I don't care. I'm glad that it went down the way that it went down, because now everything I learned last year, everything I built, everything I tried, I know enough about all of this shit. I've now run some events. I've now run a community. I've now done a podcast. I've now done retreats. Like, I've now run networking events and panels. I can do all of that enough now to make an incredible alchemy of all of it, right? So it all happened for a reason. So if your manifestations haven't happened yet, like, do all the things we talked about here. Get your mind right, get your shit tight, and then have some faith that it's all gonna be all right. So faith and patience are like the salt and pepper on top of your manifestation meal. And I'm so excited for you to experience everything that you've dreamed of, deserve, and desire. So that's it, guys. That's the episode. I'll leave you with this. Grab life by the goals, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the Grab Life by the Goals podcast. If you loved this episode, I would be thrilled if you subscribed wherever you listen to your podcast so that you can get notified when an episode drops and we can rendezvous like this every single week. If you're feeling frisky, maybe slap a 5-star review on this bitch and maybe even some comments about what inspired you from this podcast episode. This is simply so more people can find us and join our squad of badassery. I love me some Instagram, so come find me. My handle is @LaurenWidrick, and if you screenshot and share this episode with your peeps, I'll come shower you with all the virtual hugs and kisses. Until next time, grab life by the goals, my friend.